Hey, welcome back and welcome front, my friends. Today we're going to do a couple of things out of order when we're taking a look at Dreamstar's hook. Yo, I had no idea that this fool was a quadruple changer. Yeah, you heard me right, quadruple changer. And I also didn't know that, yeah, this thing over here is a little bit weird. It's supposed to create this kind of bridge, but I don't know, it doesn't do it for me. Oh, sorry. I had no idea that he turned into Prowlstater. Seriously, that's a beautiful noggin, isn't it? And somebody in the comments told me in the Scrapper review, and I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, nah, bro. He's like, this is Prowlstater. And I was like, huh? So I'm wondering if actually they are going to provide some type of like, I don't know, whether it be a chest replacement or something like that. And dig this. You know how most Devastators, this is just a shield, a wing thing that sits down? Nah, nah, nah. This entire bit, and I'm going to show you later on, this is a robot, or at least it's the top half of a robot. It's Megatron, actually, or I believe it's Megatron. And it's so insane. And everything is very, very secure. I was originally worried because these ratchets on the shoulders are incredibly tough. But there are tons of points of attachment and locking points. And so I'm not worried about it. But he is just something else, man. Super duper stylized. And in my opinion, it's really quite sturdy. And so we're going to take a look at this mode right now. I mean, we are reviewing it. Next, I'm going to show you the alt mode. Then we'll go into the bot and go through the transformation. And finally, I'll show you the leg mode. Yeah, you heard me right. Leg mode. This fool turns into a leg. I've never seen something like this before. And I'm super excited to share it with you all today. And here is a preview of the second mode, and that is the hook crane. You know, I've watched a couple other folks' videos on this, and theirs has no problem rolling, but I don't know, man. Maybe I just wasn't able to get everything flush. It rolls well enough on my hands, but I wouldn't trust it on a firm surface. I would just be afraid of all the paint scrapes on this beautiful deco and stuff, so I'm not really going to try to roll him, but he does look nice, right? And, oops, this came untabbed. And similar to Scrapper, he has lots of areas where everything locks in, so you can feel very secure about what you're doing in terms of configuring this. He also has storage. I don't know if you can tell, but that is the face, that is the head over there, and it is tabbed in over here and plugged in right there. These are the accessories, the two blasters combined along with the scythe bit, and you don't really need them actually. You can just kind of pop them off so that I can show you. And even the hook bit, you don't have to remove it, but it is a parts forming aspect in that, you know, you can, it is removable, and so that looks very, very nice, right? And this can go up and down. This also, depending on where you plug it in, you can see that there's two little ports where you can plug that in, two posts, or you can plug them in different areas. And yeah, depending on how you angle this, let me just show you separately. Like, look at the extension on this thing. Wild, right? Absolutely wild. And it has working pistons and stuff. So lots of great details baked into this. I mean, this set has really just been a treat so far to review and to experience. And yeah, I can't wait to check out all the other guys. But seriously, I'm still reeling at the fact that this guy is a quadruple changer. Is that wild? I didn't even know. Only when I looked at the instructions did I realize that, yeah, that he's a quad former, and that is due to the fact that he forms a Prowlstater. And I didn't know that either until somebody told me pretty recently. And you can see when this is not fully over here, the face is just kind of like chilling back there. But again, not too hateful. Everything plugs in really well. This area, there are a few panels and things like that, but it isn't too hateful. If I were to comment on something, it'd be that the front of this doesn't really close up and tab in seamlessly. And I've watched some other folks' videos, and they seem to have the same issue as well, so I don't think it's just my copy. But yeah, this is a quick sneak peek of the alt mode, or the vehicle mode. Now let's go on to robot mode. Hey, really quick with a commercial break from our sponsor, TF Safari, tfsafari.com. Check them out for all of your mecha needs from first, second, third, fourth party. They also do upgrades as well. You're not going to find a lot of sites that cater to different tastes and needs. tfsafari.com. And if you do go there, utilize the codes that you see on the top right corner of the screen and save yourself a little bit of change, man. They are a very reliable vendor. They are out of China. They ship to you in about 2 weeks, super sturdy boxes. And yeah, tfsafari.com. Can't say enough nice things about them. And so thank you so much, TF Safari, for sponsoring this video. All right, you know what? I lied. Here's the leg mode. So you can just see it before we go into the transformation. Pretty wild, man. I don't think we've ever seen a hook that turns into the top of the torso and also the leg for the sake of Prowlstater. And yeah, he stands like a champ. We have the blade from the side that I didn't quite show you earlier, but it does plug into the top. And then we have the boom on the back. This doesn't have to be there. You can pull it off, but the fact that it does have storage is kind of cool. But it does parts form. You pop it off and you pop it back in. It wasn't the easiest to transform from the vehicle mode, but at the same time, it wasn't that bad either. And I think once I get a little bit more familiar with it, it'll be cake. I like the fact that over here, this is the front of the truck. It becomes the toe. It looks nice, great contour. And I love the pine green, actually. I love the lime green as well, but the pine green is pretty decent. But yeah, and then you can see that here's the connection port up top. I'm wondering if Devastator will plug in there. I may actually try that out later. But yeah, not too bad. Not too shabby-gabby, and good heel support for the leg. And so super stoked to see the combined final mode. But yeah, here's leg mode. Now we shall get into robot mode. Alrighty, now we have him in his robot mode. And before we actually go into the robot mode, I kind of want to talk about the accessories. This bit right over here, I mentioned earlier, this is the chest. Looks really cool, very nice. Has these lats. I think these are lats. But if you look at this, whose arms does this look like? Megatron, clearly, right? And this is the waist over here, and so this is only half of a bot. And that made me, that got me thinking, where's the other half then? Where is the other half? And I'm wondering if there's going to be a Prowl figure released. Because if they do, they could have potentially another chest piece, one that fits more properly. Oh, by the way, does this open? Oh, it's I see hinges and stuff, but yeah, that's probably Megatron's transformation. I could potentially see them having another Prowl figure, or excuse me, another member of the team, it being Prowl, and having its own chest that transforms into the legs of Megatron, because I don't think it's been revealed. I don't think it's been revealed yet. This is the head, by the way, and I'm going to show you how there's some face swap features and stuff like that. This is a little strange. This whole thing, like, it's supposed to cover the face, and yeah, it does it good enough, but yeah, it just kind of chills back here. You can unscrew it if you want, but I don't know, man. I thought it was a little bit weird, but that's fine. The transformation gimmicks is one, you could pull this bit off, and you could pull the screaming mouth off. You can also remove the visors, the goggles as well, but just not as easily. And then so you just slide that bit in. Then you just slide that bit in. And cool. Very nice looking face, right? Very nice. And, you know, I feel like this video might be a little bit long, so maybe I'll do a separate video for this guy. Yeah, maybe. One thing that I'm kind of disappointed in, let me just kind of move these things off to the side, is this thing. This is the boom, obviously, right? And you can see that it's formed this scythe. And I've seen some pictures where they market the toy with this. He can't hold it at all. He can't grip it, I should say. He can hold it, and you can take a picture. There are no real grooves on this thing for him to hold, and the fingers don't have enough strength. Tensile? Did I make that up? Anyway, they don't have enough grip strength to hold this, and it can't even take pictures that convincingly. So that was a little bit of a disappointment. I mean, it's clearly designed for it. There's grooves, and then there's like port over there, and so yeah, it's clearly designed to be the scythe, but he just can't do anything with it. So I wish they actually had not marketed him like that, because it set up a false expectation. But anyway, let's get to the bot. So here he goes. Beautifully crafted, just like his brother Scrapper. So nice on that shimmery metallic purple against the pine. That looks really good, man. I love the paint. I love the details. I am worried that perhaps there might be some paint scrapes in the future, but that's going to be a problem for future me. Oh, one thing, you know what? I will say, some toys, I'm like, you may need I think you absolutely need a spudger for this guy. And I've hurt various aspects of my finger. I got a piece between my nail that hurts so bad. I peeled the skin over here. You see how there's that big white chunk over here? I peeled the skin back from my thumb. Very painful. Use a spudger. You're going to need a spudger. There's a lot of areas like these panel bits, this entire back piece, which is on a panel. When it lifts up, it's going to have to plug into these thin ports. And without a spudger, I don't know, man. Pulling that thing up at like, you can see it, the ports are over here. I mean, the posts, excuse me, and there are a bunch of those. Pulling it up at an awkward angle without a spudger helping you to lift it directly up, I would imagine you could potentially suffer some breaks. And so, I will say I'm not a huge fan of that, but at the same time, it is what it is. There's some interesting things that they got going on over here. Like, rather than just kind of leave this, dude, aesthetically, that is very, very pleasing, dude. This gap filler, and it contours perfectly to the side of that tire area, the wheel well, and so that's just beautifully designed. This bit kind of opens up right over here, so if you want it, you can get a bit of a deeper bend, but it's more for transformation than anything. And yeah, this is actually 2 blasters. You can untab them separately, or excuse me, unplug them, and he can hold them in his hands just fine, but I just wanted to put them there. One of the things I will say is, dude, they got really long thumbs and really kind of like long fingers. And see, he can't even hold this properly, and so no way was he going to hold that scythe. And there it goes. I am worried that over time, oh, okay, I can see it already. Yeah, the fit is so tight here. This has already suffered some paint abrasion. That's unfortunate, but it does function as a singular blaster, or like I said, you could pull this part out, and maybe he could hold it in both hands. I haven't really tried. And this is also where the scythe mounts the blade on the top over here, that plugs in truck mode, and we saw that earlier. But yeah, man, all sorts of goodness here other than the paint scrape stuff, and just kind of be mindful of that. There's a couple of other areas that I've seen, because it does have a lot of paint on it. A rot. And when you go through the transformation, everything is very specific with regard to order of operations. And so follow the instructions. They're good enough. I've seen much worse. But yeah, no, they're good enough. And you know, for the most part, while he does encounter some collision, like, he can get decent posability. The thigh swivel, just like Scrapper's, is incredibly tight. Oh, no, it got a little bit loose. Maybe there was some mold release, or like lube agent that got in there that's making it a little bit smoother. But the first time I did it was extremely rough. When he transforms into the alt mode, and we'll see it later, he has these tabs that get undone, and he does something that's kind of similar to Mecha Invasions. Rather than Hook splitting in half, the legs will split in half, or split from the thighs and become his shoulders, and so you have that symmetry there, and so that's pretty cool. One thing that I haven't figured out is when we got him into his leg mode, I actually couldn't figure out how to do the ankle tilt, but it is present. I have seen pictures with it, and some of the pictures also have him like this as wings. Yeah, I guess that's okay. Maybe that's not that bad. Almost looks like Prowl a little bit, maybe not. But yeah, that's not a bad look. And yeah, man, just the way the paint is done, the purple against the dark gray, the metallics with the gold speckled in here, the super duper details writing over there. I mean, the fact that you can just make that out is wild. I mean, they must have a really good manufacturing partner who can do this type of minute detail. And yeah, do that with a super long thumb. But it's cool. No, it's cool. He's a cool figure. Transformation is a bit involved, similar to Scrapper. I don't think it's horrible. I think it's fun enough. I wouldn't go do it on my spare time just because. But yeah, I will say I don't necessarily like all the weight bearing down on this translucent piece and resting on the foot. I mean, it does it just fine. I haven't encountered any issues with it, but generally not my favorite. It's because this is just being, this is just a hinge. There's no ratchet here. And again, all of that is being forced down in the back over here. And you can see the combiner joint, by the way, for the shoulders back over here. And yeah, this also has a tendency to kind of flop off. You just need to kind of push it in. But yeah, man, not the perfect figure, but he does tons of things right. And so now we will go through the transformation, and I will need to rely on the instructions. I'm going to take a quick break because I've been doing a lot of stuff off the screens. You won't notice it. It will be instantaneous. So I shall be right back, but not really in real life. Here we go with the transformation. I think it's going to be a long one, so strap yourselves in. I've already done one foot over here, and so it starts with taking the foot You fold it down, then you fold this part up. Oh no. You fold this back, and then you are going to free up this window. It's tabbed in. Should have grabbed the spudger. But there we go. I guess it was kind of fixed on the wheel or the tire. But there you go. So now you have the two feetsies done. All right, next step, we're going to convert this shin area. And by the way, this thing over here is asymmetric. This must be the ankle tilt in the leg mode, in the foot mode or whatever. I couldn't figure it out though. But from over here, what you got to do is you got to lift this bit up. And this shin, you are going to spin on a whim on the rim, Jim. All right, I don't know, man. I'm just trying to make stuff rhyme. And so you seat that back down. And after you do that, you got to lift this up. And I don't know why it has to follow this sequence, but you do. And then you're going to bring all of that down. And that is going to tab into that bottom section. And once that's all aligned, you can bring this up. And dude, it's tabbing in much easier and much better than the first time. But this, I have not been able to negotiate this gap. I've seen other people's versions too, and they seem to have it as well. But yeah, I just can't seem to figure that out. And maybe this is supposed to lay flush somehow. I don't know. But anyway, that's it. And so here are the legs. Cool. All right, now the next step is just to bring the legs together and just tab them in every place where you can. And being mindful not to, press down on potentially like weak areas. But yeah, you want to squeeze it shut wherever you can while not digging a dump. And then afterward, you will clamp that closed. I hate that. Okay, but and I think these are supposed to be down. Cool. Now the legs are together. Okay, for the next step, we're going to bring this out and just open up all these panels. And then we're going to bring this down, and it will tab in. I don't know if you know. I don't know, man. I don't know if you need to tab this all in right now, but I think it's safe enough to do so. And everything, like these bits will tab into the sides, and yeah, it's pretty secure once you get everything all in there. And by the way, the boom crane obviously is not attached. You can leave it on if you want, but I just thought for the sake of visibility and sharing with y'all, it'd be better not to have it, and so that's why it's not there. So anyway, you're going to flip him around, and then you're going to, oh, I'm afraid I'm going to hurt my finger. You have to lift this up. Oh, okay. Woo. After you lift this up, that just tabs into there. Jeez Louise. You're going to get some clearance, and then you're just going to yank that bit up. Cool. All right, next up, we're going to open up the chest. But before we do so, we are going to untab the back plate because that is kind of locking everything in place. You see all that goodness, right? So cool. After we've done that, now you can undo the chest. And as you're doing that, this is kind of cool. You see this bit over here? This will, you just got to get the alignment right. This will come down and flip over and secure this thing and holding it in place. And that's just really, really clever. So these guys who are doing this type of work are just really, really smart. And I've included a lot of fun little transformation gimmicks. All right, next step, now that everything's kind of open, is we're going to flip this entire bit up. And that will allow us to kind of bring the arms down. And that's really neat. It will just hug that entire abdomen over there. And Scrapper doesn't have an identical piece, but it does have some identical like swinging down shoulders, and they will reposition in the back, but still, this is pretty cool. And these will also lift up later. But yeah, so that'll hug the mid bit nice and snugly. Okay, so the next part is folding in the fist, and I hope it doesn't give me trouble. The space is very, very tight, and it has to be just perfectly oriented. Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't like that snap. I didn't like that snap, but whatever, dude. Also, I was gonna say, I don't think. Well, whatever, dude. This does tab into the arms. I will figure out the orientation later. But yeah, it does tab into the arms and everything locks in place. But yeah, thank goodness the fist didn't give me too much trouble. Okay, from here we're gonna spin them around. And I was gonna say I'm pretty happy that we haven't had to use a spudger yet. Maybe it was just really tight the first time around and I had to do that. So we're gonna spin that around, and I don't know, something about this thing is so satisfying. I love that. I love that bit. And then we're gonna open this up, and then we are going to compress the arm in on itself. This will not fully close, it will stay open like that. But that's how the orientation is, and I think we can then tab that in. I believe so. So cool, now it's locked into place on that gray bit, and Scrapper had a lot of those things. And I do believe these will open up like that, and so I'll just do it, I'll just leave it like that for now. All right, and so now that we've got that all done, we're gonna push this section up. I don't know how far it's supposed to go actually, but we'll just push it up as far as it can go. And by the way, if you're getting kind of, if this thing is getting stuck for you, like here, make sure that this is untabbed. It'll give you more freedom. If you lock it in, that's gonna make it a lot more difficult. And so yeah, just kind of keep that in mind. And so this section over here, now this is you see that there's corresponding ports over here, and there's posts. And so this back section is all going to kind of come down, and that's going to tab in, and that's fine. But more importantly, this back part has to reseat itself into these ports again. And getting everything lined up just perfectly without having good visibility is kind of tough. There goes one. And there goes the other. Okay. Just need to make sure that I can kind of exert some force and pressure those areas. And then we have these that are going to plug into here. And I think they're all lined up underneath. Yeah, they are. It's just, there you go. They just need a bit of a push. And now I think with that being done, I can secure this in place, and these will flip up like that. Cool, we're getting there. We are getting there. These do have a tendency to kind of pop off, but just kind of pop them back on. They connect at the top, and they also connect at the bottom over here. And so at this point, I think you just double hinge this kind of down, and you just plug that into the back jack. You know, I swear this had a more this had an important role, but I guess not. Maybe it's just like this on the back. Huh. I swore these things plugged in, but maybe I'm thinking of the leg mode or something like that. So whatever, dude. For the time being, it is what it is. Oh, and I was like, this part looks so hollow. And at this point, I'm just kind of freestyling, but this will come forward, and that tiny post will plug into that tiny, tiny port on the leg. Crazy, right? Just want to get the spacing right. That goes in there. I can tell I'm kind of losing my voice. And that goes in there. These stay up. And I think that's it. And I believe it rolls a little bit better, but still I feel like there's some light scrapage, and so I'm not even going to mess with that. The head. I don't know if it could transform with the prowl head, and so I'm going to pop that off. I'll just put in the standard Devastator head. And so what you need to do is this will circle back. The way they have you configure this is incorrect in the manual. There is no clearance the way they describe it. And if you try to put it in the manner in which they describe, it will just pop off. And so don't do that. This will spin like this. There is a groove here that will hug the leg. And so this will sit all over the face, There you go. And that will clasp over the chin. And that will do this. Yeah, the manual has it wrong. It's impossible what they're describing in the manual. And so you just plug that in there. And then this bit will also even tab in there as well. Like, wow, that's nice, right? And this is the only way you're going to get clearance. And also, again, the way they're describing it, this will not be able to pass that part. And from here, we'll just grab the accessories. I'm like, dude, should I even do the chest and the leg mode? Because you guys have seen it already, and dude, it takes hella time. Takes a long time. I think it's this one. And that will sit back here. It won't give you full clearance up at the top, but this is on a hinged handle, and so it will sit up like this. But yeah, so just know it's not gonna sit flat. And then finally, we have the crane game, man. I love crane games. You know those like claw game, like that. The ones that aren't like rigged to rip you off. Like I'm pretty good at those. And so, yeah, you just plug that in, and you can push this back, and even this bit contours and hugs just right above the windshield, and so that's pretty cool. And you got this wicked hook going on over here. And yeah, man. That is the alt mode, Joe. Pretty sweet, right? I think it's nice. And honestly, like, yeah, this is cool that there's storage and stuff, but I don't really care for it. I think it's a nice touch, but superfluous. And just looking at this, like this, and if you do this, you can't really raise it up as much. And I believe the instructions, they tell you to use this one. So you can just bring that down. You can have that in here, and then you can kind of raise it up. Pretty sweet, right? Pretty sweet ride, man. And but yeah, that is Mr. Hook in his alt mode. And I am debating whether we actually go through the transformation for the chest and the leg. You've seen it already. Perhaps in the combination video. When we're putting the entire set together, I will go through those steps, or I might even do it in a short. But for this one, I'm gonna just be honest, I'm pretty tired, man. I'm pretty exhausted. It's the end of the day of work, you know, so I've had a full day. I think we're gonna cut it short right here. I am gonna put out a separate video for this to show how we're gonna transform into Megatron, or at least the top portion of Megatron, and then and yeah. And we'll do more of this stuff when we get more of them in. And hopefully I don't have to pay out the wazoo for the tariffs and stuff like that. Cool. Thank you so much for joining me, friends. And for those of you who are eagerly anticipating me transforming this into the torso and the foot mode, I sincerely apologize to you, but I'm only human. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.